Well, welcome everybody for the 21st, I think it's 21st, something like that. It's August, there's a weather change, and we're going to get flooded next week, and it'll be cooler. So there's that. So
that's because we're underwater.
I've learned from my 30 years in Central Texas, it's either, oh my God, it's a drought, followed a week later by, oh my God, it's a flood. So when that transition. So it's a beautiful thing, and we're going to have David kick us off as a tradition.
All right, then. I think I'll play an air. And this is called, it's from Shetland, the Shetland Islands. And it's called The Trowie Burn.
Lovely. That was great. Very, very pleasant tune. Very pleasant. Hey, Terry, could you make me host, or I couldn't
Yeah,
mute
right.
you. I couldn't
I
mute
shall
you,
do that.
but you didn't do anything outrageous, so we were okay. So,
What
and with this smaller group, I think people should self-mute, as it were.
self-mute? Okay.
I would just take care of transgressors very subtly.
I started
Okay.
a Zoom session with someone, and it came up with a dialogue at the beginning saying, do you want to give the host permission to unmute you? Which surprised me.
I must
Maybe
have
it's a setting in here.
Yeah, maybe I muted you anyway somehow. Anyway, the magics of artificial intelligence. Talking of which, Terry, it's your turn.
Okay, let me see if I can find find these words, lyrics. Frankie. Okay, I'm gonna do Frankie and Albert. I'm not sure if oh shoot. Maybe we could skip me for this time and I'll go third. How's that?
I would say Sandy is next, and then Terry will be after her, and
Thank you.
just change the order that way.
Okay. Well, last time I came, Mary Jane played a song I'd never heard before called Deep River Blues, and I really liked it. So I looked it up and got the melody and transcribed it for a bass native flute. And then after I played it a while, got the hang of it, I wrote a couple of blues solos to go with it. And I really like it. And then after that, then I wrote a little introduction for it and a little coda for it. So anyway, I really like the song. So I am going. Thank you, Mary Jane, for introducing me to this song. And it starts out. It's got a lot. Sounds kind of like the rain is just falling. It's like chord tones falling down, and then the song will start. And it's a raining.
Very-
Bro-
My question, but it was beautiful in and of itself.
You can't hear Stuart. Can anyone else hear Stuart?
Stuart, hear you.
They were original version of that,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
peppy, but I really like your version a lot.
Testing. Yeah. It said I was unmuted, but hey, it's that artificial intelligence thing. I was saying, Sandy, you have the best production values in terms of not just the music, but the background visuals. You obviously worked on that as a presentation piece. Thank you. All right, Terry.
Song, Robertson's Come On in My Kitchen. It's going to be raining outdoors, which would be perfect for the atmosphere, but I don't have it together yet, so I'll do something else. I can't remember whether I've done this song for you, but I haven't done it on this instrument, I don't think. So this is my brand new resonator guitar, and I found that the techniques of playing slide on this thing are very, very tricky. You got to hold the thing just right, and you also have to remember that if you got a slide on your pinky, every once in a while I forget and I reach for a note that I would normally play with my pinky finger, and it goes whap. Or you hold it too close to the fretboard and you get stuff like that, or you don't mute it properly and you get stuff like that. So it's much more of a discipline of playing than I had expected. But it's fun to learn something new. So here's old Mississippi John Hurt song. Well, Frankie was a good girl, everybody knows. She paid $100 for Albert's one suit of clothes. Was her man, but he done her wrong. Well, Frankie went down to the corner saloon to buy her a bucket of beer. He said, "Mr. Bartender, has my loving man been here? He's my man, but he done me wrong." Well, I ain't gonna tell you no stories, and I ain't gonna tell you no lies, but I saw your man about an hour ago with a gal named Alice Fry. Was your man, but he done you. Oh, sorry. Frankie went down to the corner saloon. She wasn't gonna be gone long. She put through the keyhole in the door, spied Albert in Alice's arms. It was her man, but he done her wrong. Well, Frank called out to Albert. Albert said, "I don't care. If you don't come home to the woman you love, gonna haul you out of here." Was your man, but he done you wrong. Well, Frankie, she shot Albert. She shot him 3 or 4 times. Said, step back, people, from the smoke of my gun. Let me see my Albert dying. He's my man, but he done me wrong. Well, Frankie and the judge walked down the stand, walked out side by side. The judge said to Frankie, you're gonna be justified shooting a man when he done you wrong. Well, dark was the night, the cold was on the ground. The last words heard Frankie say, and done laid old Albert down. He was my man, but he done me wrong. I'm beginning to get the knack, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that instrument really suits your style of music too. Someone replied to me because, did you hear what I said, Terry? Okay. You're just being bashful.
Probably better for having missed it, I think.
All right. Excellent. Let's move on. Mary Jane, please give us a number.
The figure I've done before. I'm sure I've done it. I just couldn't find it. Called Romance in Durango. It's a Bob Dylan song that he wrote with a guy named Jacques Levy. It was released on the Desire album in 1976. It's always been a favorite of mine. It's not like a lot of Bob Dylan songs since he wrote it with somebody else. Okay. Oh, I think I've got the wrong ukulele. Sorry about that. I'm doing this one on the baritone. Could have been a big mistake. Okay. Romance in Durango. Hot chili peppers in the blistering sun. Dust on my face and on my cake. Me and Magdalena on the run. I think this time we shall escape. Sold my guitar to the baker's son for a few crumbs and a place to hide. prayers of hope in the little church this side of town. I will wear new boots and an earring of gold. You'll shine with diamonds in your wedding gown. No llores, mi querida, Dios nos vila. Soon the horse will take us to Durango. Acárame, mi vida, soon the desert will be gone. Soon you will be dancing the fandango. The way is long, but the end is near. Already the fiesta has begun. The face of God will appear with his serpent eyes of obsidian. No llores, mi querida, Dios nos vila. Soon the horse will take us to Durango. Acárame, mi vida, soon the desert will be gone. Soon you will be dancing the fandango. Was that the thunder that I heard? My head is vibrating, I feel a sharp pain. Come sit by me, don't say a word. Oh, can it be that I am slain? Quick, Magdalena, take my gun. Look up in the hills, that flash of light. Aim well, my little one. We may not make it through the night. No llores, mi querida, Dios nos vila. Soon the horse will take us to Durango. Acárame, mi vida, soon the desert will be gone. Soon you will be dancing the fandango.
That's a great song. What's the background to that song?
I just wrote it with another guy.
Ah,
This guy before, and I haven't done any research on it, but it did appear on the Desire album. That's when I heard it. That was one of my favorite Bob Dylan albums.
cool. Great. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, it's my turn. By the way, if you got here at 10 minutes to 2 o'clock today, you would have heard a great poem by Tom, Spirit Tom. He had to go off at 2 to go to another event. So I heard it. It's just ephemera, but it's great. He sends his regards. All right. So if everyone would mute themselves, I shall get on with this. I'm going to play a whistle song because I believe you can't have too many contributions from the Aerophone family of musical instruments. That's just my take. So, and soon there will be autumn leaves falling. So we'll do a little autumn leaves here. but I miss you most of all, my darling. When autumn leaves start to fall.
When's my meeting? Tomorrow at 2:00. 2:00? Okay. Why? I was just wondering.
Okay, we got some background static somewhere. What can you say? Life goes on. All right. Moving right along, back to the top. David.
So, have all of you at least seen one or two videos on my YouTube channel? No? Anybody? Well, I was going to say, if anyone has any ones on there that they really like, I'd be glad to do it. But you can tell me now or later.
Emily Dickinson.
Yeah, I'll do this one because it's one I've been practicing a lot to prepare to put on the YouTube channel. Should be able to get it up there in the next week or so. One thing I like about this whole genre of matching classic poetry to folk tunes is that it's so unoriginal. That's one of my. I've come to the conclusion that originality is highly overrated. I mean, just because something's original, how does that mean that it's any particular quality of good? Whereas when I pick these poems and these tunes, pretty much guaranteed. Even the genre itself's not original, so I just really like that. Someone said one of Yeats' poems to a folk tune way back in the early 20th century, I believe, late 19th century. That's how we got the song Down by the Sally Gardens, which people have been singing for a long time. This is a poem by John Keats, and it follows a long folk tradition of people who got involved with supernatural beings in more or less intimate ways. And the folklore pretty much says that it's going to be a disaster for the mortal. No good outcome will happen when you have that kind of involvement. And this poem echoes that. It's called La Belle Dame Sans Merci, which is meant to say the beautiful lady without mercy, who appears to be a fairy. Yes. After the first three stanzas, the knight at arms takes up the story for the rest of the poem. And the tune I chose for this is a beautiful old Irish air entitled Valencia Harbor, also known as, in Irish, Auran na Lair, the Song of the Books. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms? The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, so haggard and so woe begone? The squirrel's granary is full, and the harvest's done. I see a lily on thy brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on thy cheeks a faded rose fast withereth too. I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairy's child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. I made a garland for her head, and bracelets too, and fragrance on. She looked at me as she did love, and made sweet moan. I set her on my pacing steed, and nothing else all day long, for sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. She found me roots of relish sweet, and honey wild, and manadoo, and sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. She took me to her elfin grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore, and there I shut her wild, wild eyes with kisses full. And there she loved, and there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed of woe betide, the latest dream I ever dreamed on the cold hillside. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, death pale were they all. They cried, La belle dame sans merci, thee hath enthralled. I saw their starved lips in the gloam, with horrid warning gaped wide, and I awoke and found me here on the cold hillside. And that is why I sojourn here, and this is why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedge is withered from the lake, and no birds sing.
That was wonderful. And that's on one of your YouTubes?
It's going to be. It turned out it's very difficult to get through it without making a few mistakes. So I'm practicing it and trying to get up to the point where I can get through it one time with no fluffs. And then I'll
Well,
put it on my channel.
when I do these things, I just do it over and over and over again.
Pretty much it.
I
Yeah.
probably do 100 takes and pick one. Yeah.
They're not mistakes, they're creative alternatives and interpretations.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
had a
picked the best
As long as you
creative.
smile while you're singing them, that's the main thing. Yeah, someone anyway. Welcome, David. Join the party here. So we'll thanks for that. That's great. Sandy, if you could give us a number, and then I think we'll have I'm gonna then Sandy Terry, and then I'm gonna put David in before Mary Jane, if that's okay. So Sandy.
Okay, I got a full moon back there. As you know, every moon has a name, and the one in August is called the Sturgeon Moon. And a poet friend of mine, wrote a poem called Sturgeon Moon, and every week we do a collaboration where he writes something and I write something, and we perform it together. And so I kind of like the Sturgeon Moon poem we did. August 11th was when the full moon came out. And then I just kept working on my little motives that I had written until pretty soon I had a whole song. And so this song is brand new. I've just been working on it and change it up a little each time. And it's called the Sturgeon Moon. It's on the same E bass flute. Wait, let me start over. still a work in progress.
Oh, it's great. And
That's
and
great.
forgive me for tuning while you played, but I was listening still.
Oh, it's really good.
As long as you're muted, Terry, it's okay.
Well, I didn't want anyone to think I wasn't paying attention, but
And despite what David says, we also appreciate originality as well as the tried and the true. So it's all good.
When did I say anything other than
No,
that?
no. The other David. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
you missed the punchline, David. I should say David Kane.
Okay.
David.
okay.
It was not aimed at you, sir.
So I'm going to do one more song on my new guitar, and I might have done it for you before. I don't know, but I haven't. As I said before, I haven't done it on this guitar for you. So one thing about this playing the slide guitar is like playing the banjo, because there's all these different tunings. And switching from one to the next can get really tricky, and hopefully I've got this right. But I'd mislaid my slide. Yeah, going for the pinky note there. Okay, let's start that again. There it is, sorry. One day I went a-fishing, used a frog for bait. I flung him in the water and I pulled me out a snake. I had a little bottle of moonshine to keep me feeling right. Whoops. To keep me feeling right. You should have been watching, it was an awful sight. I pulled his mouth right open and poured some whiskey in. Then I turned my snake loose and used my frog again. I caught me great big jackfish, one thing I did hate. That doggone greedy pounder had gobbled up my bait. Well, I got busy thinking now, I got to feeling blue. I did not have another frog and I didn't know what to do. Well, I got busy thinking and I leaned against a tree. Well, I was calmly smoking when something come to me. It tapped me on the shoulder, looked around to see that doggone water rattler had come to trade with me. Frogs, I think a dozen, he brought them to the bank. There where I was fishing to trade them in for a drink. There it is. Well, then the frogs was all around me. The snake piled on the ground. He smiled and winked his eye at me as he drank my whiskey down. This will end my story. That rattler headed south. He crawled away happy with my bottle in his mouth. I struggled my way through that one, but there you go.
Yeah, David Kidman, Terry has a new toy, and it's a rather fine Bates do his slide work on. And so
But I'm just learning this stuff now, so you have to make allowances.
Have to slide into it gradually.
That's right. By the way,
Right.
this is, I tried a bunch of different kinds of slides, and I settled on a ceramic one, which is called the mud slide.
Right.
Ah, nice one.
Yeah.
Mudslide slim indeed.
All right. Thank you, Terry. David Kidman, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, I'll take the ceiling. Right. Thank you, Sandy, for that beautiful piece, and for the thought of the moon. So it put me in mind of a moon song. Hope you don't mind, or hope you don't moon, whichever. Ouch. As we were facing down to the river of darkness, I called on the night to protect us, as we were together, and as it was us. A great white moon rose before us. Just one kind look from the Lady of the Lamp leaned down from the sky for to guide us. A faded flower in her lily white hand, on her long slow dance towards her lover. It's the moon going home, going home. It's the moon going home. It's the moon going home, her face in the clouds, with a great crowd of stars all around her. She comes to her window with a candle in her hand, on her long, slow dance towards her lover. It's the moon going home, going home. It's the moon going home. Just one kind look from the Lady of the Lamp, lean down from the sky for to guide us. A faded flower in her lily white hand, on her long slow dance towards her lover. For it's the moon going home, going home. It's the moon going home. Yes, it's the moon going home, going home. It's the moon going home. Sinead.
Lovely.
That was lovely.
Great.
John Spillan from Ireland.
Yeah, I said it before. I really love the pacing of David's presentation. It really allows you to feel the song. Not too slow, not too fast, but the song breathes. So thank you, David.
Thank you. Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, Mary Jane, give us a number.
I'm still on the bear I pick for this one. And this is an original song, which I don't think I've played it for you because it just never seemed appropriate to play this particular song due to its subject matter until now. And it was inspired by the drought of 2011. And when it was finally seemed to be over, I wrote this song. I called it Drought Break. And we're at a drought break position right now with having had rain after so many 100-degree days. So I brought this out, and I hope you like it. It is original, but maybe it's not that bad. So. The ground, hard dirt is cracked, the hill is bare and brown. The creek dried up, evaporated out. For months we've suffered unrelenting drought. Drought and rain, drought and rain. Will the lakes ever rise again? Rain and drought, will the water supply run out? It's been so hot, some garden plants have died, and bay tree leaves look like they have been fried. The land is suffering from a dry disease, a record year for 100 degrees. Drought and rain, will the lakes ever rise again? Rain and drought, will the water supply run out? Yet buried in the soil remains the seed, and roots to pierce the surface as a weed. The tiny pairs of leaves are green and strong. They will become a whole plant before long. Rain and drought, soft green grass will begin to sprout. Drought and rain, lakes will begin to rise again. And source of wonder I cannot explain. The ecstasy from lilies of the rain. They're quickly blooming stalks upon the slope. Their light uplifting petals bring me hope. Rain and drought, soft green grass will begin to sprout. Drought and rain, lakes will begin to rise again.
Well, that speaks to our condition, doesn't it? Mm.
Thank you. Thank you for that Quaker reference there, Terry, because it just so happens. And thanks for that song. That was really a good atmospheric song.
That's a good one, that. Yeah.
I'm going to do a Quaker kind of a association here, at least, in my rendition of this song. I've sung this a few times in I've sung this a few times in different settings in the States, and quite often there's two responses. One is, it's a great song, and others are, oh, it's all about communism, and I have to remind people sometimes that context is everything. So it's a song called The Digger's Song, or The World Turned Upside Down. It's about a gathering of, in 1649, of some pacifists who wanted to work and live together off the land. And the context is, in 1649, there was a prevalent myth among many in society that the good old days were back in the times of the Anglo-Saxon kings before William the Conqueror showed up. And what happened after William the Conqueror and all the Norman kings showed up is that the previous practice of allowing locals to do a little farming and raising of animals on the waste grounds of the royals and not be touched and be left alone was being steadily eroded over the centuries from 1100 on, because the kings would have to pay their budgets, military budgets and so on. They'd borrow money from the barons and the lords and so on. Then they'd have to pay that off somehow. And one way to pay it off was to lease out the royal lands. And it turns out the local nobles were much more ready to chase off interlopers than the king who was hundreds of miles away in London or whatever. So the context was people are used to growing stuff on these waste grounds belonging to the royals or the nobles, but steadily over time, those common lands got squeezed out and taken over by private industry. Private people. It's kind of a historical trend that we are still experiencing today. Anyway, here it is, the Digger's Song. And most of the words in the song is written by Leon Russellson. Most of the words come from a declaration written by the leader of the Diggers, this community, called Gerard Winstanley. So here we go. In 1649, to St. George's Hill, a ragged band they called the Diggers came to show the people's will. They defied the landlords, they defied the laws. They were the dispossessed, reclaiming what was theirs. We come in peace, they said, to dig and sow. We come to work the lands in common and to make the waste ground grow. This earth divided, we will make whole. So it will be a common treasury for all. The sin of property we do disdain. No man has any right to buy and sell the earth for private gain. By theft and murder, they took the land. Now everywhere the wolves rise up at their command. They make the laws to chain us well. The clergy dazzle us with heaven, or they damn us into hell. We will not worship the God they serve, the God of greed who feeds the rich while poor men starve. We work, we together, we need no swords. We will not bow to the masters or pay rent to the lords. We are free men, though we are poor. You diggers all stand up for glory, stand up now. From the men of property, the orders came. They sent the hired men and troopers to wipe out the diggers' claim, tear down their cottages, destroy their corn. They were dispersed, but still the vision lingers on. You poor take courage, you rich take care. This earth was made a common treasury for everyone to share. All things in common, all peoples one. We come in peace, the order came to cut them down. We come in peace, the orders came to cut them down.
Great, I love that song.
Yeah. They tell me the English Civil War was like America in the 60s, but it lasted for 2 decades instead of just one. So that's what I hear. So. All right. It is time to move to the top of the top of the table, David. And Sandy's got a dog. I think that's Sandy's dog. No, that's David's dog. No,
It can't be. They're both muted.
that's right. Must be David's dog. Take it away, David.
Okay. Just to reiterate, I have a YouTube channel now. David Polachek is the name of the channel. And I'm putting up all of these songs that I've made by combining the poetry I love with the traditional folk and early music tunes that I love. And you can start listening to some of these on my YouTube channel if you choose. Gradually getting them all up there. I've done over 40 of them at this point, so it's going to take a while to get them all up there. But there's several in place now so that you can listen to. Go ahead and share, comment, subscribe. Excuse me just one second.
Well, you did tell him to take it away.
Just one second.
Take the dog away.
Yeah. It's going to tell the dog what key it is, I think is what it is.
Now, at least it's not playing bark.
Oh, Offenbach in this case. Oh,
Oh, no.
Sorry about that.
That's a great dog name, Offenbark.
yeah.
If you
Don't let
can,
English in the same room. It'll never end.
Our dog's named Bingo.
Bingo. Okay. So have you tuned your dog now?
been going everywhere.
There was a farmer had a dog. So if you hear any of those songs on my YouTube channel and you'd like me to perform them, just let me know. I love doing requests. This one is one I put on there recently, and it's based on a poem by William Butler Yeats called September 1913. And unless you're conversant with the history of Ireland, it might be a little bit obscure. Basically, Yeats was saying that he didn't really like the middle-class folks in Ireland who were very focused on money and didn't pay attention to the history of Irish struggle. And he mentions a number of names which were names of Irish patriots who struggled against the British control of Ireland. And he also mentions the wild geese, which is a term used for soldiers who were more or less exiled from Ireland and went to the European continent to fight for various European crowns. September 1913. The tune I've chosen to go with this is called The Flower of Maharalio, which is an old Irish love song. What need you, being come to sense, but fumble in a greasy till, and add the halfpence to the pence, and prayer to shivering prayer until you have dried the marrow from the bone, for men were born to pray and save. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, it's with O'Leary in the grave. But yet they were of a different kind, those names that stilled your childish play. They have gone about the world like wind, but little time had they to pray, for whom the hangman's rope was spun, and what, God help us, could they save? Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, it's with O'Leary in the grave. Was it for this the wild geese spread the grey wing upon every tide? For this that all that blood was shed, for this Edward Fitzgerald died, and Robert Emmet and Wolfe Tone, all that delirium of the brave. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, it's with O'Leary in the grave. Yet could we turn the years again, and see those exiles as they were, in all their loneliness and pain, you'd cry some woman's yellow hair has maddened every mother's son. They weighed so lightly what they gave, but let them be, they're dead and gone, they're with O'Leary in the grave.
Very fine. Yeah.
Excellent. Now, I've heard that tune for the wind that shakes the barley. Is that the same?
No,
tune?
it's different.
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 Okay.
A flower of Maharali, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Maharalio. One
Yeah.
pleasant summer's evening, when
Yeah.
the birds were all a singing.
Hanging on. Yeah.
Yes,
They seem like close cousins to my ear, but
they could be. They could be.
yeah. All right. That was great, David. Thank you. Don't forget, tune in to the David channel. It's constant and it's flowing. The last 3 weeks, just every day, there's something new on it. So, right. It's Sandy's turn.
Okay, my new background here is the flower of life as drawn in sacred geometry. A friend of mine read a poem the other day, last month, and he used the word sunshine solution. And I just really like that, sunshine solution. It's 5 syllables. And so I wrote a song, and all of a sudden I noticed that it was 5 notes, 5 measures, 5 sections. And 3 is a sacred number. And I thought, well, this is kind of like sacred geometry. You know how they take a geometric equations and they assign notes to it, and then they play all this music. And so I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And then last week, I wrote a new song for this little tiny Burl Camphor native flute that I have. And all of a sudden I noticed that there was 10 measures in each section. And I started thinking, oh, I've got another sacred geometry piece here. So I played it, and I didn't know what it was, and I asked my friends for a title, and they called it Dancing Raindrops, because they said it sounded like raindrops. So then I started playing it and making more of it, because kind of making it more non-metrical, so that it sounds like rain, how rain kind of comes and goes, it goes, and click, 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 and all that. And then after I kind of worked that out this week, then I thought, well, after rain, you have sun. So then I tagged on the sunshine solution. And then now it's a yantra, which is a design or a diagram that's used to aid in meditation using sacred geometry. So this is the yantra of dancing rain and sunshine. You are the first people to hear it put together. You get to end with the sunshine.
Oh, beautiful.
Lovely,
Thank
lovely,
you.
lovely, lovely. Yeah, what's the key that's pitched in the instrument?
It's in D pentatonic. There's only 5 notes. I only played 5 notes in all of that. They're just 5 notes.
Cool.
Played in groups of 10 or groups of 5
Yeah,
because it only has 5 notes.
cool. Lovely. Right, that was very fine. Terry, if you
Okay, here's an old banjo song that about the devil. I did a little search on my song site, the songs I knew about for devil, and about 10 songs came up. We got the Devil and Bailiff McGlynn, and the Knot in the Devil's Tail, and the Devil's 9 Questions, and this one, the Devil and the Farmer's Cursed Wife. But we could do a whole substantial set on the theme of Old Nick. Yeah. So you'll know this one. It's either a very misogynist song or a very feminist song, depending on what spin you want to, what interpretation you want to give it. You know, I rest on the verse that says, "This only goes to show the women are better than men," to attest to its feminist qualities. But anyway, the Devil and the Farmer's Cursed Wife. There was an old man lived over the hill. If he ain't moved out, he's living there still, singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. The devil come up to him one day, said, one of your family I'm gonna take away, singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. Said, please don't take my eldest son. There's work on farm and it's got to be done. Singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. Well, it's not your eldest son I crave. It's your old soul wife I'm gonna take away. Singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. The old man jumped up with a start. He said, you can take it with all my heart. Singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. There it is. Well, the devil took her up upon his back. He looked like a peddler coming back in his pack, singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. He hauled her down to the gates of hell, said, stoke up the fire, boys, we'll scorch your well, singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. Up come two little devils with the ball and a chain. Up went her foot and she kicked out their brain, singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. Well, the two little devils went scrambling up the wall. They said, take her back, Daddy, she'll murder us all, singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. Got up next morning, peeped out of the crack, and he seen the old devil coming, dragging her back, singing hi-ho, diddle-I-day, diddle-I, diddle-I-day. Said, here's your wife back safe and well. If he kept her any longer, she'd have torn up hell, singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. Goes to show what a woman can do. She could whoop upon the devil and her husband too, singing fi-fo, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I, fiddle-I-fee. Shows that the women are better than the men. They can go down the hill and they come back again singing 5-4, fiddle-I-fee, fiddle-I-fiddle-I-fee. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And we welcome Storm to our group. Just beginning to storm here in Austin, so timing is perfect. There's one person before you, Storm. There's two people, David and then Mary Jane, and then you're up. So there we go. So David Kidman, please.
As opposed to any other David this time.
Yes, that's right.
That's fine.
Never take things personally. It's one of my rules.
No, I don't at all. No, I'm not normally one of 6 Davids on the session. Doesn't happen these days. Right. Regarding what to do. I was going to sing this one yesterday and I didn't get round to it. So it's on my list to practice. It's a piece from the singing of the Menhaden Shantymen. Drinking that wine, 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 drinking that wine, that holy wine. Well, you ought to been heaven 10,000 years a drinking that wine. Drinking that wine, 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 drinking that wine, oh yes, my lord, you ought to been heaven 10,000 years, drinking that wine. 2 white horses side by side, none can ride 'em but the sanctified. You ought to been heaven 10,000 years, drinking that wine. Well, I got a mother in the promised land. I'm never gonna stop until I shake her hand. You ought to been heaven 10,000 years, drinking that wine. Drinking that wine, 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 drinking that wine, oh yes, my lord, I ought to been heaven 10,000 years, a drinking that wine. 2 white horses side by side, one of them horses I'm bound to ride. You ought to been the heaven 10,000 years, a drinking that wine. I know you love wine, wine, wine. I know you love wine, that holy wine. You ought to been to heaven 10,000 years, a drinking that wine. Oh, if my mother asks for me, brother, won't you tell her I'm on my way? You ought to been to heaven 10,000 years, a drinking that wine. Yes, brother, won't you tell her right for me? I'm on my way to Galilee. You ought to been to heaven 10,000 years, a drinking that wine. Yeah, drinking that wine, 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 drinking that wine. Oh, yes, my Lord. You ought to been to heaven 10,000 years a drinking that wine. Yeah, drinking that wine, 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 drinking that wine. Oh, yes, my Lord. You ought to been to heaven 10,000 years drinking that wine.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It
All of you.
sounds like a sea shanty gospel number or something.
Yeah, as I said, from the repertoire of the Menhaden shantymen who
Okay.
fished off the east coast for very tiny, uneatable fish, inedible fish, which were used for foodstuffs and animal feed and stuff like that. So there you go. That's a net hauling shanty, apparently.
Okay.
But
Cool.
they do it. You talk about speed. They do it incredibly slowly and drawn out, with a lot of sort of patois chatter in between the lines. So if you've got a group of them sort of hauling away and sort of nattering away at the same time, so the whole cumulative vibe of it is quite powerful.
I'm sure those nets get heavy.
Yeah, they would do. But then again, the fish are quite light, so
yeah.
There's
All right,
a
cool.
trade-off.
That was great, David. That was that new one to me. So thank you for that. So, all right, Mary Jane, please.
One everybody knows, probably Pastures of Plenty by Woody Guthrie. It's a mighty hard road that my poor hands have hoed. My poor feet have traveled a hot, dusty road. Out of your dust bowl and westward we rode. Your deserts were hot and your mountains were cold. I worked in your orchards of peaches and fruit. I slept on the ground in the light of the moon. On the edge of the city you'll see us, and then we come with the dust and we go with the wind. California, Arizona, I harvest your crops. Then it's north up to Oregon
Mary Jane, thank you.
That's one of Woody Guthrie's real masterpieces.
Yep.
The interesting thing is how he adapted the melody of the old murder ballad Pretty Polly. So
Yeah.
it would be a 4-line verse instead of a 3-line verse. Really masterfully done.
I had never thought about that. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, the original was only 3 lines of melody, but he had a 4-line verse, so he had to adapt the tune. And interestingly, Pretty Polly started out as a broadside ballad in England called the Gosport Tragedy, and it had 4-line stanzas until it got to America and was adapted into that unusual 3-line melody pattern.
Yeah.
So Woody
Yeah,
put it back
fascinating,
into
that.
4 lines and wrote that marvelous text for it.
Yeah. It lost a line on the passage, so you know it happens. Went overboard. Thanks for that. That's very good. All right, we welcome Storm again to our little group, and Storm, the floor is available for you to perform.
Okay. Well, I was at a Zoom memorial for a lovely elder gentleman named Connie, who's, I guess, well known in traditional Irish circles even more than I realized. I knew him through a very small Zoom that has been meeting on Wednesday nights. And then last night I heard that Jewel had died, Jewel Olvin, who was connected with Fox Hollow Sea Shanty. So I'm in a sort of reflective mood today. I put this piece together. Declaration. I have no women. Declaration. I have no woman of love or flame to hold my hand or call my name, to come and lie down by my side, to bring me peace when darkness bides. No conquest long, no one-night fling awaits me now to make me sing. Oh, I had dreams as I had plans, they smolder still, I am a man. Yet when or if they'll lead me home, I cannot say I am alone. I have no bride, I have no whore, I have no mate whom I adore, and likewise none who dote on me. I totter on the end to see. Oh, such bright colors I'd paint the sky, to know I'm held the day I die, and feel sweet lips upon my cheek, and those hot tears that she would weep, she who somehow I'd called to be for all her life in love with me. If you saw me coming over the mountain, if you saw me coming over the hill, would you recognize my smile and my laughter, or would you recognize my singing so shrill? If you saw me coming down the valley, if you saw me coming over the sea, would you think I was somebody different, or would you know for sure I was me? If you saw me coming early one morning, if you saw me coming with the setting sun, would you wonder where I was going, or would you wonder what I had done? If you saw me coming someplace, somewhere, if you saw me coming at any old time, would you stand still and let me pass by you? Or would you stop me and invite me to dine. If you saw me coming from here, from there, if you saw me coming cross meadow or green, would you make opportunity of it? Would I help you to live, or would I help you to dream? If you saw me coming over the mountain, if you saw me coming over the hill, would you recognize my smile and my laughter? Or would you recognize my singing so shrill? I wrote both the poem and the song.
Oh, that was something.
Thank you, Tom. Storm, and sorry for your loss. Very reflective piece there. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to do another reflective piece. Right, not original. It's by Utah Phillips. It's one where he uses the poetry and the prose of Thomas Wolfe to do a reflective song called Starlight on the Rails. Thomas Wolfe wrote, "We walked along a road in Cumberland and stooped because the sky hung down so low. And when we ran away from London, we went by little rivers in a land just big enough. And nowhere that we went was far. The earth and the sky were close and near. And the old hunger returned, the terrible and obscure hunger that haunts and hurts Americans, and makes us exiles at home and strangers wherever we go. Oh, I will go up and down the country and back and forth across the country. Or I'll go out west where the states are square. Or I'll go to Boise and Helena, Albuquerque and the two Dakotas and all the unknown places. Brother, have you heard the thunder of the fast express? Have you seen starlight on the rails? I can hear the whistle blowing, high and lonesome as can be. Tonight the rain is softly falling, and it's falling just for me. Looking back along the road I travel, the miles can tell a million tales. Each year is like some rolling freight train. It's cold as starlight on the rails. I think about my wife and family, my house and all the things it means. The black smoke trailing out behind me is like a string of broken dreams. Looking back along the road I've traveled, the miles can tell a million tales. Each year is like some rolling freight train. It's cold as starlight on the rail. Now if you live out on the highway, you're like a clock that can't tell time. And if you spend your life just rambling, you're like a song that doesn't rhyme. Looking back along the road I've traveled, the miles can tell a million tales. Each year is like some rolling freight train. It's cold as starlight on the rail. Looking back along the road I've traveled, the miles can tell a million tales. Each year is like some rolling freight train. It's cold as starlight on the rail.
Hey, nice one.
I like the sound effects you added.
Thank
Very
you.
atmospheric.
It's the high-low lonesome, so.
Yeah.
Yes. Like most dogs, they understand an hour of folk music, but 3 hours, man, like, whoa. Anyway, moving right along. David, top of the ticket.
Okay. So I thought I'd add one more comment about my YouTube channel, besides asking everyone to check it out and subscribe and all that good stuff. And that is, my goal for these pieces where I combine classic poems with traditional folk or early music melodies is to make them accessible and have the thing pass into the folk tradition. So everybody pick your favorite one and learn it and sing it, and that would be great. It would be wonderful if people were singing it and didn't know how it came to be, because that's how the folk music tradition works. But anyway, this is one by Emily Dickinson, and most of Emily Dickinson's poetry was discovered after her death, and she didn't actually put titles on them, so they're usually known by the first line. And this one is called Hope is the Thing with Feathers. The tune I selected to go with it is a very unusual song that was recorded back in the 20s by a man named Doc Boggs, who was a banjo player and singer, and it came out on the record entitled Country Blues. But he said later, when he was rediscovered, that the actual title was Hustling Gamblers. And his text was mostly about gambling and drinking and lost love and dying and wasted life. But these are more interesting words in a way, and it goes with the same tune. and sings the tune without the words, and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me.
A favorite.
Oh, yes. Great.
Thank you, David. You caught me going there. You should have sung it twice. No one would have noticed.
Short and sweet, like the old woman's dance.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. Sandy.
Okay, and this time you see one cloud behind me. I wrote a poem this week called One Cloud, and then I wrote some music to go with it on a sycamore flute. It's made out of a sycamore branch. It's kind of a oval shape, and it was made by a guy in Missouri named Joe Lofton out of sycamore wood. And here's the words. One cloud in the sky puts a smile on my face. Just one cloud all alone, waiting, 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 till more clouds come out to play. Clouds all around, my smile grows wide. And then it goes into a little dance. And I couldn't change the background to make when all the clouds come out, so you just have to imagine it.
We'll imagine it, yes.
Lovely. Lovely. That takes us to the third hour. Well done, people. Moving right along here. This would be Terry's turn. So,
Okay. Uh-oh, you caught me without retuning. So you have to put up with this for a minute. It shouldn't take long.
we call that the first verse. The prelude.
I think I got it. I was reminded of this song. I dropped in on my brother yesterday on the way back to Austin. He lives in Dallas. And we were talking about this old supernatural ballad called Lady Margaret, and how the tune to it seems identical to Shady Grove, but somehow it didn't feel like the same, but we couldn't put our finger on what was different. And the only way we could figure it out is to have Chris play it on the banjo, play Shady Grove on the banjo while I sang the words to Lady Margaret. And we discovered that the melody was just the same, but the rhythm was quite different. Lady Margaret sitting in her high hall door, combing long yellow hair. She saw sweet William and his Let's try that, sorry. Yeah, I think that sounds a little better anyway. Lady Margaret sitting in a high hall door, combing long yellow hair. She saw sweet William and his new made bride, riding from the church so near. She throwed down her ivory comb, she throwed back a long yellow hair, said, I'll go down to bid him farewell, never more go there. It was late in the night, they were fast asleep. Lady Margaret appeared all dressed in white, standing at their bed feet. Well, how do you like your pillow, said she. And how do you like your sheet? And how do you like that fair young lady lying in your arms asleep? said he. Very well to like my sheep, or better to like that fair young lady standing in my bed's feet. Once he kissed her lily white hand, twice he kissed her cheek, 3 times he kissed her cold clay lips. Fell in her arms, they sleep. Well, there's Lady Margaret in her room. Yes, she in the hall. No, the Margaret's in her cold black coffin, face turned to the wall. Spooky.
A right cheery number, that one. Yes, well done. Well done.
Tune's also used for Matty Groves in some versions.
Oh yeah, right, right.
Little Musgrave, equally gloomy.
Yes, Sandy is needing to go and take care of her dog, so we bid her farewell. She has restless dog syndrome. It affects many
Restless
people.
dog syndrome.
So it is the time for David Kay.
Do excuse me a moment. That's the one, yeah. Leaves are falling and turning in showers of gold as the postman climbs up our long hill. And there's sympathy written all over his face as he hands me a couple more bills. So who will watch the home place? Who will tend my heart's dear space? Who will fill my empty place when I am gone from here? There's a lovely green knoll by a clear running stream. It was my place when I was quite small, and its creatures and sounds could soothe my worst pains. But today they don't ease me at all. Who will watch the home place? Who will tend my heart's dear space? Who will fill my empty place when I am gone from here. Now in my grandfather's shed there are hundreds of tools. I know them by feel and by name. And like parts of my body, they've patched this old place. And when I move them, they won't be the same. So who will watch the home place? Who will tend my heart's dear space? And who will fill my empty place when I am gone from here? So now I wander around, touching each blessed thing, the chimney, the table, the trees, and my memories swirl around me like birds on the wing. When I leave here, oh, who will I be? So who will watch the whole place? Who will tend my heart's dear space? Who will fill my empty place when I am gone from here? Yes, who will watch the home place? Who will tend my heart's dear space? And who will fill my empty place when I am gone from here? Sinead.
Lovely, lovely song. Lovely, lovely.
Sung by Kate Long.
Beautiful. Righty, Mary Jane.
I like that song, Who Will Watch the Home Place. I listened to a Laurie Lewis version of it.
Yeah, that's where I got it too. Wonderful recording.
Yeah, you even did it in the same key that I learned it in.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realise you did it. I wouldn't have sung it otherwise. Sorry, Mary. Oh, you've gone quiet. I've lost your sound.
Yeah, you may need to unmute and then. Now you're still.
Oh, it just went, didn't it?
Yeah, I had that earlier in my 2 hours ago. Happened to me. So.
Oh, shucks. Go on to the audio settings and make sure the mic is ticked at the top. Bottom left-hand corner, caret on the side of the mute button. Audio settings, and the one at the top is select a microphone. Just make sure that's still checked, because sometimes that can fall out on Zoom. No? Oh, right. That often cures it.
I think, Mary Jane, you're going to have to shut down and come back into Zoom. And in the meantime, we'll have Storm fill in the space and then you. So Storm, your big opportunity here, man. So.
Alrighty. Tonight I await. Tonight I await whatever is coming and pray for new beginnings and clearer views ahead. There's no sense in shaping futures, knowing that they will surely change before they arrive, knowing I won't recognize them even if they don't. Tonight I await whatever's coming, draw covers closer and whisper reassuringly that surely something will happen sometime. It just hasn't done so yet. But soon, soon, whatever's in store must be coming. God's got a path through the mountain. God's got a boat for the sea. God's got a spring for the fountain. And God's got a plan for me. So many questions seeking answers. So many ways I'd like to go. So many dreams that lie here shattered. So many times the world said no. Yet God's got a path through the mountain. God's got a boat for the sea. God's got a spring for the fountain. And God's got a plan for me. Sometimes alone I cry and tremble. Gray clouds gather and the rain comes down. Sometimes alone I cry and tremble or hold my breath and don't make a sound. Still God's got a path through the mountain. God's got a boat for the sea. God's got a spring for the fountain. And God's got a plan for me. So many reasons for stopping. So many folks have given in. So many bridges burned to ashes. So little chance I can win. Yet God's got a path through the mountain. God's got a boat for the sea. God's got a spring for the fountain. And God's got a plan for me. Yes, God's got a path through the mountain. God's got a boat for the sea. God's got a spring for the fountain. And God's got a plan for me. Yes, God's got a plan for me.
Hey, thank you, Storm. That was great.
I wrote both the poem and the song.
Cool. Good one. Good one. Good ones. Yeah. All right. Mary Jane, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yay.
All right.
Back online.
I was afraid
You're
I
up.
was gonna have to just get out of here if I didn't have any
You're
sound.
going to put shillings in the meter. I think that's what it is. So anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. Anyway, well, I'm gonna do another original song just to irritate David Polachek, I guess. I had it planned, so I plan all this stuff out in advance, and as opposed to picking something, being inspired to do something like some of you do. Oh, and David Kidman, don't worry about doing a song I did, because I did a song you did. You inspired me to sing She Moves Through the Fair at the last Celtic thing. I did that one, and I was I've been working on it, but it wasn't ready until that that particular meeting. But I enjoyed your version of that.
Oh, great.
I did it a little faster, but of course I had a ukulele and a kazoo, so it was a lot different than your version. Anyway, this one is called Snake, and I think I've done it before, but I think it's been over a year, so I thought maybe you could stand it again if you remembered it at all. I hope there's not too much background noise. Did you hear a bunch of weird stuff in my background? Because I hear something, but maybe it's not loud enough to come through for you. On a walk in the park last week, I jumped across a narrow creek, and underneath my airborne stride, a slithering, glistening snake did glide, plunging in the shining waterfall. Under the rocks he went to hide, not peeking out the other side, finding there a crevice cave, in darkness there coiled up to save himself from crushing booted human feet. His reputation hated feared, scary tales when we were reared, prejudiced us when they warned of toxic fangs with legless forms, the reptile always pictured as a villain. golden beam. His scales reflect a softer gleam. I thank him for the part he plays in the dance of life on this fine day. A kindred spirit, creature of the earth.
Yay! Original material, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, I'm going to do something that got Bob Dylan in trouble in 1964, 65. I'm going to introduce my electric instrument, which is a custom-built guitarlele. It's like a ukulele with 2 extra strings and a couple of bass humbuckers. And it was a 6-week project that took a year to complete. And we're not quite complete yet, but it's close enough. So
Now
anyway.
you should put a resonator on it.
Yeah, I'd have to turn it way down. So I'm going to do this song, and true story this. When I joined a neighborhood band about 15 years ago as a whistle player and vocalist, before I got this crazy idea of learning stringed instruments, which happened when I retired just a few years ago. They asked me to introduce a song, and I introduced a song called Stubble Was a Racehorse, because I'd heard it as a young teenager and I fell in love with that 3-part harmony. And there was something I just really liked about the idea. I've never drank water much myself. My doctor tells me all the time, up to this day, drink more water. But the idea of a horse that never drank water, he always drank wine, was so appealing to my young mind. So I introduced it to the band, and they said, you can play in the band, Stuart, but that's not quite the material we're looking for. And ever since, my name in the band is Stewball, because it's Stuart. So, hey, it used to be Stewpot when I was a teenager, but Stewball, I'll take it. So here it is, my version of Stewball Was a Racehorse on the custom guitarlele. Oh, Stewball was a racehorse, and I wish he was mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. His bridle was silver, his mane it was gold, and the worth of his saddle has never been told. Oh, the fairgrounds were crowded, and Stewball was there, but the betting was heavy on the bay and the mare. On the way up yonder, ahead of them all, came a prancing and a dancing, my noble Stewball. I bet on the grey mare, I bet on the bay, but I bet on old Stewball, I'll be a free man today. Oh, the hoot owl she hollers, and the turtle dove knows I'm a poor boy in trouble, I'm a long way from home. Stewball was a racehorse, and I wish he was mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. Feel the sustain, the sustain. And it goes up to 11 too, so. All right. And now back to our regular programming. David, please.
I'll play a little tune on the concertina. It's called For Ireland I'll Not Tell Her Name.
Love that tune.
Yeah, David Polachek, I met a friend of yours or somebody you know, a concertina player named Jim Bayless. Do you remember him?
Sure, I know Jim. Good friend of mine.
Yeah, he's been coming to the sing-alongs that Terry and I were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
during
Plays a
the
different
concert.
system of concertina. Very well, I should say.
Yeah, well, we're always happy to have him there. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
He's a
He
good
has
guy.
a lot.
I just want to say about that tune. I have played that tune at weddings, at birthday parties, and at funerals. That's how good a tune that is. So. You just change the tempo and you're set. All right. Very good. It is. All right. It is. It is the third hour. Sandy's gone, so it'll be Terry's turn.
Okay. So, whoops. Now I've got so much stupid little gear here. I've got a footrest, but the new guitar is small, so I have to put the footrest on the left foot, and then when I switch to this one, I have to put it on the right foot. And then I got this little prompter here on the other foot, and it gets a little complicated. So, old pirate song here. There were two brothers, Mary Scotland, they were three, and they chose lots which of them should go. And turn robber upon the salt sea. brought it first upon Henry Martin, the youngest of all of the three, that he should turn robber all on the salt sea, salt sea, the salt sea, far to maintain his two brothers and he. Oh, I'm a little rusty today. You'll just have to forgive me. He had not been sailing but a short summer's night and part of a short summer's day, before he espied a stout lofty ship, lofty ship, lofty ship, come upon them, come sailing down on them straightway. Hello, hello, cried Henry Martin, what makes you sail so nigh? I'm a rich merchant ship bound for fair London town, London town, London town. Would you please for to let me pass by? Oh no, cried Henry Martin, this thing it never can be. For I have turned pirate up on the salt sea, salt sea, the salt sea, far to maintain my two brothers and me. Come lower your topsail, brail up your mizzen, and bring your ship under my lee, or I will give you the full cannonball, 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 and your dear bodies drown in the salt sea. Topsail, nor bring our ship under your lee, and you shan't take from us our, you can't take from us our rich merchant goods, merchant goods, merchant goods, nor point our bull guns into the sea. Then broadside and broadside at it they went, for fully 2 hours or 3, till Henry Martin gave to her the death shot, death shot, the death shot, and straight to the bottom went she. Bad news, to old London came, bad news to fair London town. There's been a rich vessel, and she's cast away, cast away, cast away, and all of her merry men drowned. a cheery one.
Thank you, Terry, for the tale of distress on the high seas there.
Yes, well, I just realized, speaking of distress, I just realized that I have just now remembered to turn original sound on, so I've probably been sounding awful the whole time. So, as a reminder to everyone, turn original sound on.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and you have to do it constantly now. The new will turn it off every single time you leave Zoom.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that information. In the good old days, we didn't have to worry about this. But anyway, enough of that. It's time for David Kay to do his last one, I think. We're in the last 20 minutes, so.
Yeah, I think it will be, and it'll be a short one as well, so we can make sure everybody gets in.
Thank you.
A short Bob Dylan song, which I was reminded of earlier, not because of electrification, but other connections in the mind there. She's got everything she needs. She's an artist, and she don't look back. Yes, she's got everything she needs. She's an artist, and she don't look back. She can take the dark out of the night time and paint the daytime black. For you will start out standing, proud to steal her anything she sees. You'll start out standing and proud to steal her anything she sees. But you'll wind up peeking through her keyhole, down upon your knees. For she never stumbles, for she's got no place to fall. Yes, she never stumbles, for she's got no place to fall. For she's nobody's child, and the law can't touch her at all. For she wears an Egyptian ring that sparkles before she speaks. She wears an Egyptian ring that sparkles before she speaks. For she's a hypnotist collector, and you are a walking antique. So bow down to her on Sunday. Salute her when her birthday comes. Bow down to her on Sunday. Salute her when her birthday comes. For Halloween, give her a trumpet, and for Christmas, buy her a drum. For she's got everything she needs. She's an artist and she don't look back. She's got everything she needs. She's an artist and she don't look back. For she can take the dark out of the night time and paint the daytime black. Yes, she can take the dark out of the night time and paint the daytime black.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Great Dylan song.
Bob is always welcome, as are you. So,
Short Dylan song is a rarity, isn't it?
all right, move along. Get everyone in. It's Mary Jane.
I'm going to do an Ian Tyson song. It's called Someday Soon, and it's also fairly short, too. So hopefully there'll be plenty of room for everybody else to go. There's a young man that I know, his age is 21. He comes from down in southern Colorado.
Good song. Good song. All right, Storm, your last go, sir.
Good. With Willie from the country and Tommy from the town, I used to play when I was young until the sun went down. We'd play a pirate's bold and a villain's black, yet when I would die, I'd get my life right back. With strange brews and medicines, they'd fix me fine as new, and the only wounds I got from playing were but a scratch or two. Yet I've grown older now, and now I fought with men, and still I wish that it weren't so. I was back to then. No medicine for him in pain, no magic touch to pull the bullet from the thigh. Alone upon this darker land, I'll in this moment die. Oh, the businessmen are happy. They've made another war. They're marching on the enemy as they've done times before. They're signing up our daughters, sending off our sons, teaching them to conquer, teaching that war is fun. They're making lots of weapons, more each day it seems, and the contracts that they're getting escape their wildest dreams. Oh, the businessmen are happy. They've made another war. They're marching on the enemy as they've done times before. The country's in a furor over this just cause, and Congress in a hurry is passing repressive laws. Dissidents are silenced. There are fewer every day, for who dares talk of peace when jail's the price to pay? Oh, the businessmen are happy. They've made another war. They're marching on the enemy as they've done times before. The unions now are losing every gain they've made. The president's issued orders restricting all free trade. Flags are madly waving throughout this war-crazed land, and everyone is clapping. They think the show is grand. Oh, the businessmen are happy. They've made another war. They're marching on the enemy as they've done times before. Yes, the businessmen are happy. They've made another war. Their profits all are soaring, and they're killing off the poor. I wrote both the poem and the song.
Good Storm for that contribution. Yeah, sad times.
Yeah, thinking particularly of Ukraine.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, I'm going to do the last song, I think, and then I think we'll let David take us out. We may have a couple of minutes left over, just so we can, bank them for next time. So, this is a Richard Thompson song, which is basically from a Sufi cleric's sermon message from the 1920s. It's called Strange Affair, and I've always liked it. It's kind of mysterious. This is a strange affair. The time has come to travel, but the road is filled with fear. This is a strange affair. My youth has all been wasted, and I'm bent and grey with years. All my companions are taken away, and who will provide for me against my dying day? I took my own provision, but it fooled me and wasted away. This is a strange affair. Oh, where are my companions? My mother, father, lover, friend, and enemy? Where are my companions? They're prisoners of death now and taken far from me. Where are the dreams I dreamed in the days of my youth? They took me to illusion when they promised me the truth. And what do sleepers listen? Why do they need more proof? This is a strange affair. Won't you give me an answer? Why is your heart so hard towards the one who loves you best? When the man with the answer has wakened you and warned you and called you to the test. Wake up from the sleep that builds like clouds upon your eyes and win back the life you had that's now a dream of lies, and turn your back on yourself, and if you follow, you'll win the lover's prize. This is a strange affair. This is a strange affair.
That Gitalele has an almost harpsichord-like sound sometimes.
It does the way I play it. I'll be picking it next year. So, yeah, that's true. It's highly strung, like I am sometimes.
I see.
Okay.
Sounds to me like an auto harp.
Yeah, someone's mentioned that. It's that upper tuning.
Yeah, interesting comparison that. Yeah.
So thanks everyone for coming. It was a pleasure as always, and it's good therapy for all of us. And long may it continue. David, take us out, please, with the usual.
The Parting Glass, followed by a jig called Happy to Meet and Sorry to Part, both of them Irish. All the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that I ever did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend, and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town, who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheek and ruby lips, I own she has my heart in thrall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all my comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts I ever knew, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll softly rise and gently call. Good night and joy be with you all. Thanks for coming, everyone. See you next time, I hope.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you all.
having us.
Good to see
Bye.
you, Storm. Don't be a stranger. Come on by anytime.
All the best. Good night.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good night, ladies and gents. Here we go. Bye.